Why did you say all that stuff to Osborne about being a missionary? Ben laughed without mirth and took one of the chairs on the other side of the desk. I didn't like the smell of that guy. I didn't want to talk to him. He's your boss, right? How could you tell? I just could. Yeah, well, all the more reason not to make him think my brother's a fanatic. It was the right thing to tell him to cut short the conversation. Fat cats who spend their days collecting $500 an hour to move paper around don't like to engage people who do charity work. It makes them feel their lives are shallow. You think my life is shallow? Ben looked around the office. You've been gone a couple of days, right? Anything seem out of place here to you? Alex wasn't going to let him just pretend he didn't hear. I said, you think my life is shallow? There was a pause. Ben said, it doesn't matter what I think. No, I want to know. I don't know, Alex. You live in the same house, you work in an office 5 miles away from it, you went to college and graduate school and law school, all at the same place, all right here. I mean, have you ever done anything different? Ever taken a risk? Alex could feel his ears burning. So what? Stanford was the best school. And you know what kind of tax hit you take in California when you sell a house? Even as he said it, it sounded lame. But fuck Ben, not everything was about taking risks. You think you're a big risk taker, he said, but you want to know what I think? Ben glanced away as though bored. Not really. You sucked in school, you quit college, and you couldn't have cut it in the valley. You stumbled into the only thing you seem to be any good at, and ever since you've been making a virtue of necessity. You don't do what you do because it's worthy and important. You do it because you don't know how to do anything else. Ben unwrapped a piece of chewing gum and put it in his mouth. He extended the pack to Alex. Alex wanted to slap it out of his hand. Anything seem out of place here to you? Alex stared at him for a moment, then decided to drop it. Let me see, he said. As soon as he started looking, he noticed it. There had been 8 stacks of paper on his work table. One of them was missing now, the one on Hillzoy. What the hell? He said. He started poking through the piles, confirming what he already knew. It was as though the Hillzoy paperwork had just been deleted. What is it? Ben asked. My file on Hillzoy, Obsidian. It's gone. You sure? It was right here on this table. This is where I keep active matters. He looked through his filing cabinet. Yeah, it's gone. He sat and called Osborne. David, you didn't borrow any files from my office, did you? Why, is something missing? David, is there a reason you can't just give a straightforward answer to a question? The second it came out, he couldn't believe he said it. Even Ben was looking at him with surprise. There was a pause. Osborne said, No, I didn't borrow your files, and hung up. Ben said, I wouldn't worry about him thinking I'm a zealot. You can probably piss him off all by yourself. Alex didn't answer. It had felt good to snap at Osborne. He'd half expected Ben to be impressed by it too, except now Ben was criticizing him, or mocking him. Well, whatever. He had a right to be cranky, and he was getting tired of taking shit. Could anyone else have borrowed that file? Ben said. Well, there's Elisa, my secretary, but she never takes anything without putting it back before she goes home. Why don't you take a look around her station to make sure? Alex got up and checked. No documents. He came back and sat, shaking his head. Anyone else? Ben said. Alex thought for a moment. Sarah, I guess, the associate who was helping me on it, but she wouldn't take something from my office. Or if she did, she would have left a note or a message or something. Check with her anyway. Alex called Sarah on her mobile. Hey, he said, sorry to bother you so early. No problem, I'm just pulling into the parking lot. What's up? There weren't many people who got to the office earlier than Sarah. Alex was one of them. I can't seem to find some of my files on Hillzoy. You didn't borrow anything, did you? Of course not. I would have told you if I